So, updates. I'm gonna speak in Tagalog today. A bit of Taglish if you like. But for now, meron tayong malaking update for Proto. Yes, I named it Proto because according to the Greek language, it means first. The first or the first. I named it after that because this is the first thing I ever invented based on analysis. And it's the first system I made, and it's the first thing that I really work hard on, and I think it's gonna be the first in the tournament. So, bragging set aside, we have big updates for this guy. So the biggest update for this guy is this one. So scratch the one. We're gonna scratch this one. We're not gonna use it anymore. As you've seen in the previous videos, the purpose of this guy is it drives the weapons. It's still there, don't worry. So yeah, if I haven't updated on the cover, it's already built. I'm gonna show it later. So this is the update. So this guy is now scrap. We don't need it anymore, and we have moved on to this guy. Basically, the difference is, let me introduce you to the first one. This is a relay. It's a relay shield, a relay custom shield for the Arduino. That's the Bluetooth shield on top. So it drives the weapon, and we used to drive the whole body of the P-bot using the P-bot driver. I had a lot of issues with this guy, with the board, and so I had to adjust. So I changed the motor. This is the stock 6 volts motor, 8000 RPM. 6 volts, so it takes a lot of voltage and takes a lot of batteries. So we kind of switched to a Hyper Dash 2 Tamiya motor. Take note that this is only 2.4 to 3 volts rating. It means that it drives on very low voltage with very high current. What's the advantage? Well, we can buy cheap batteries for low voltages and still have that big amount of current. So yeah. So right now, so the problem now is you're gonna take a lot of current with this guy, and the P-bot module, driver module, has its own load as well. So if we're gonna take this battery, the rechargeable battery, and plug it in directly to the board with the motors, it cannot supply enough current. It simply cannot supply enough current because this one has a current rating of 1.5 ampere. So it takes about a 1.5 ampere worth of battery to power up everything. And the motors takes 1.6 ampere to power up everything. So that's my analysis. So I can't drive the motor fast enough. I don't want to use a lot of voltage because 9-volt batteries are high voltage, low capacity. But you know, double A's like this one, they are very low voltage, but you know, they have a high capacity, milliampere per hour. So right now, the biggest update, I switched to Hyper Dash, and now I scratched the relay shield, and now I have this guy. So this guy is basically a combination of the board and this one. Well, imagine this whole thing is now these two little transistors. Well, they're not little transistors. They are the power transistors. They're like high efficiency transistors. They burn out at 3 ampere as well. But for these little guys, the general NPN, they burn out for 200 milliampere. Sorry. So the entire system, the relay shield system, is now a power transistor system, only this thick. So we save a lot of space. I have room for more. So I decided that, I'm gonna make a relay shield. A relay shield is like a motor driver, but instead of logic gates, we're gonna use mechanical switches, such as relays. So using 4 transistors. So that's like 4 logic gates. Not really logic gates. That's 4 switches, 4 logic switches, and 4 mechanical switches. We made the exact, the exact purpose, the exact function of the module into this. And the advantage of this is It's a switch. It doesn't go through a logic gate. It doesn't go through a lot of drops. It's directly like a switch. So all the load of the battery, all the power of the battery goes into the motor. Thus, it gives us a very high speed. It runs about 500 RPM now compared to the 175 RPM we used to have with the 6-volt motor, and we only use a few batteries. Disregarding this, don't look at this, guys. The battery needed to power up the whole robot is just 4 AA's. So another big issue is, why do we have a lot of batteries? So I'm gonna explain. These two are for this 4 or 2 pairs are for the weapons. 18 volts for one, 18 volts for another. Yes, it takes a lot of freaking voltage, but these are very cheap batteries and it can power up quite a lot. So this one is the main battery supply of the logic board, and then these two are just, you know, spares. So for now, that is the biggest main update for this guy. We have a big overhaul on the motor driver and the weapons system. So this is the old system, scratched it. So this is the better system now. This is 2-in-1, motor driver and weapon driver. Yeah, you could call it a weapon and motor driver. I basically had a clever idea of soldering like 2 pieces of universal PCBs together, and I had the size I needed. I didn't want you know, too long. I just wanted like this, but you know, a thin area and an elevated one. So yeah, I made like, this is the other 2 relays, if you can see. So yeah, so this is the biggest update so far. I'm pretty proud of it. So far we have only costed about $130 max on the P-bot, on Proto, and I could say that it's gonna get more expensive. Discarding how much batteries are already wasted on testing it. But you know, it's fun. It's fun to make an all night. I made this for 10 hours last night, starting like 10 p.m. in the evening, ended up like 12 p.m. in the afternoon. So designing it, testing it, it's just such a pain, but you know, I'm proud of what I have right now. It's very nice. Instead of buying those 450 pesos worth of motor driver, I made one with mechanical and no loss, direct power on the freaking motor, and we can use any kind of motor we want without burning the system. We can use like the max, this is very high rating before it burns. It has a high rating ampere current, so we could use like a plasma dash motor that eats up 4,000 milliampere, 4 amperes, and won't burn the system. Just keeps on going. Just have to worry about the freaking battery. So anyway, I'm pretty proud of this, and we're gonna show you an assembled part later.